Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another stream. It's all quiet on my end, gotta turn my volume up. Alright, so on last night's stream, I almost said server, on last night's server, we went through quite a bit of quests, doing everything relating to the Shaman Village and Metter and Ymir and Anna and Yolan. So did we start off fighting the Erdtree Avatar? Or well, not Erdtree, yeah. So we did the Shadow Tree Avatar to begin with after dealing with the Shadow Tree Chalice. Then we did everything with Manus Metter, visiting the Two Finger Ruins, and we cleared out most of this area, finishing off with the Finger Creeper Ashes, which we can get from Ofnir. And pretty much the only thing we left undone here was the Fallingstar Beast. And I thought there was like one other thing that I wanted to do over here before heading back. So I'm not sure if I want to actually do Bonnie Jail at all, because it's not that important. So unless I'm trying to fill some time, pretty much all we have left to do is like this Fallingstar Beast, because he's just kind of there and fun to kill. And then we have the fight with Messmer and the quests pertaining to Leda, Hornsent, Ansbach, and all of that. So after we deal with the Fallingstar Beast, we will talk to Knight Leda and the Hornsent and see what that is all about. Oh, and I guess I didn't finish Tyler's quest, now that I think about it. So that'll be another thing worth doing. Whoops. So, Asenex, Galaxy Dragon, Dave, Stoatboat, Boris, Jack Irish, Our Crusader, and Stella, welcome on in early. What is this? Oh, okay. Jack has his theory why Mikola only has 3 arms and 4 are usually assigned to divinity. What if that means he didn't fully finish his ascension, or maybe he was unable to? I don't think he like fully finished, or maybe he did. At the very least, he doesn't have the Elden Ring like America. So it's kind of annoying what is and is not considered like a god. Because wow. It's going to be like this all fight. I'm probably just going to switch back to the Meteoric or Greatsword. So with all of the godhood, divinity type stuff, we have like the Hornsent tutelary deities being kind of gods in their own right. I rolled way too early. The god skins hunted some random gods. We have the outer gods. So which god is important when to the story is kind of questionable. I could probably put Cragblade on this now that I think about it. I wonder how that would work with the spinning blade. Wait, no, that wouldn't work because Cragblade is the Ash of War. Is there no sorcery Cragblade? It's gonna hurt. Oh yeah, so one weird thing about this Fallingstar Beast is that it lacks the kind of Estelle type skull. I'm out of stamina. It doesn't have like that eye, which I don't really know what to make of all that, to be honest. I was trying to drink my flask. That was like the worst time to do it. I'm stuck. Can y'all chill? Damn, man. Not that crap again. Stowboat says we have at least 3 different Elden rings throughout the ages. I'm out of things to heal with. Alright. I could have definitely played that better, but this weapon isn't as effective as I was hoping it would be. Just trying to see what I can and cannot cheese. Obviously I could fight it like as though I had a normal weapon on. What's the fun in that? Speaking of normal weapons, screw all that mess. We'll just cheese it. It's a Fallingstar Beast. Oh. Bad roll. Right, I can still block. I just shouldn't use barricade shield. Why did he pull out his weapon? That's annoying. Hey, the realist, how's it going? Okay, too big of an AoE to dodge that way, so I should have iframed it. I don't think Blood Flame will help against this guy pretty much at all. There we go. This boss has neither spirals or noteworthy rotations. Hey, Dylan. Oh man, that's still connected. It's disappointing. I'm actually a bit surprised that this guy was poisonable at all. Because it's essentially a bunch of rocks. Meteors, even. I had no stamina. That's kind of goofy. And I could ride Torrent to catch him when he's running around so much, but I haven't done that. Do I think he's broke? Did I hit him right there? Did I catch his tail? The hell just happened? Alright, well anyway, we got a new spell, that of Gravitational Missile, which says it's one of the glintstone sorceries that manipulates gravitational forces. Fires a gravitational projectile that pulls in enemies before finally exploding. Charging extends reach of projectile and number of inward pulls. Said to have originated in the lightless dark far beyond, the home of the Fallingstar Beasts. So the lightless dark far beyond, that is not dissimilar to the way that the Greater Will is described in things like Ymir's High Priest hat, which says the Greater Will is like and its lightless abyss. So maybe the greater will is a little bit extra, but there is definitely room to believe that they're all meant to be connected. So let's go ahead and pick up our runes, and then we'll go visit Leda and the Hornsent. Then I will catch up with you guys in chat. Stoatboat was asking if the Elden Ring is the laws that govern the universe or the land. Perhaps Miquella can't become a fully fledged god like Marika because he lacks the whole of the Elden Ring. That's kind of my thoughts for now. So he might be like a god, but it would probably be more akin to a lowercase g god than a capital G god. That's right, you heard it here first. Miquella is a little g. Jack has a theory about the Tarnish. What if we are a child of Marika? Because even for a Tarnish, we are extremely powerful compared to others. We can compete with gods like they're nothing. With that note in mind, it might also just be because we're able to turn the power of runes into strength. I don't know if the other Finger Maidens can do that, or if it's a Melina-specific thing. We are told through like the different forms of grace and whatnot that people are given grace, but we don't know if they like actually level up. So that could be a big component of things like that. But I don't think like the lineage is that important because that was never really a super important thing for like the previous FromSoft games. Realist asks, do I feel confident on who Torrent's former master may have been? Not really. Obviously, Torrent is with Melina. So perhaps that could be the person. It could have been Marika. It's all a tangled mess. Was that a parry? Definitely not. But yeah. What do I make of gravity being purple, meaningful, or random? Purple death and sleep make sense as related things, but it's not very obvious why gravity would share an association. Maybe to help differentiate it from yellow lightning. So I think the options would be like... So gravity is purple and it has purple lightning, which is why I brought up lightning, so that might have seemed a bit random. But blue lightning would probably not work well against a lot of colors in the sky and whatnot, and red and yellow were kind of already taken for the dragons, so perhaps they could have done something like black lightning. That might have made a lot of sense actually, but maybe it just wouldn't look very good visually. So I'm inclined to probably say for like visual reasons, because I guess there's already black flame and it's not as though gravity only exists in lightning. Well, black is kind of already used for like a lot of death hexes and stuff too. Blue is already for like glintstone and comet azure. Yeah, I feel like purple is probably just one of the few colors that they had that could remain that distinct. Galaxy Dragon says, wasn't there a theory a while back where we are a resurrected demigod based on the sounds at the back of the opening? So, as far as us being a child of Marika, I wouldn't necessarily think that we were like a direct child, but metaphorically, if we're tarnished and are of like, you know, the same stock as Godfrey and whatnot, then certainly we probably have some relation to Marika one way or another. And Suladon, welcome on into the stream. Is there green and orange magic? So there are some green glintstone spells a little bit, and for orange, not a whole lot, but we do kind of have like orange in play with like a lot of the golden stuff. So orange gets codified as gold a bit, so things like the ancient Erdtree sigil, so incantations, tend to be a bit more orange, but they're also a bit more yellow. So yeah. Also, I guess gravity doesn't feel particularly orange. Purple is a pretty unnatural color. Like you don't see a lot of purple in nature. So That's just kind of my thoughts for now, but it's a good question. Boris had the theory that lightning gets its color according to the tree of its age. Great tree, red hue. Golden lightning is Erdtree lightning. Let me think about that. I don't think anything actually contradicts that. I don't have all of the capital lightning. Well, I need to look at all of them. I think there is like one red lightning spell that is like kind of more affiliated with Flamedell, but maybe not after all. Oh yeah, and then Jack says Scarlet Rod is orange. It's a bit more red, but I can see what you mean by calling it orange. Like it definitely has like orangey highlights. When I used the two nascent butterflies at the edge of the cliff of the precipice of anticipation for lore theory crafting, I'm not sure, to be honest. I definitely know a lot of people place a lot of significance in it, but I just don't know what you can really meaningfully gain from it. I think it's probably just a bit of a... I don't want to say like an Easter egg, but like a dev thing to encourage people to like walk off the side of the cliff to like pick those up. And they're kind of like looking upward because they're floating as opposed to like an item on the ground you might be expecting to fall. But the butterflies also kind of like represent the transient nature of life. So I could see like some thematic connections, but I don't know about like the whole like Mikola stuff. I know some people like to run wild with that and be like, oh, Mikola was the mastermind after all. Like he's guiding the Tarnished from the beginning, but... while people are certainly welcome to think that way, I just tend not to. And Soledad says, magenta can't be seen in nature. Magenta? Well, I know there's violet, which is purple, but I need to think about magenta specifically. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk to the NPCs here.
Intriguing. What remains there to be said? Do you presume us allies even now? Though Mikola's spell is newly broken, I must profess. The spell mattered little. Uphold his covenant, Mikola shall, and in godhood redeem our rueful clan. Then Marika and vilest Erdtree both will at last be from divinity wrenched. And surely, contented I will be.
So despite the Hornsent saying that it mattered little the spell of compulsion upon him, I think that turns out to be a lie, especially as you progress through his quest and help him against Leda, or don't help him against Leda and you just kind of like let him be. He will eventually turn his back on Mikola after you kill Messmer and say like he wants to kill all of the people of the Erdtree. So his thoughts are a bit scattered and he's still a bit of a mess because of that compulsion is my takeaway from this. Now, as we were talking earlier in chat about Mikola being the Lil G, I would also like to point out that he thinks that Mikola needs to essentially wrench divinity from Marika, which ties into that whole aspect of him not being like fully ordained as a god, for like lack of a better term.
But first, clear resounds the call of vengeance. The Impaler, Messmer, must pay his due. In vengeance for the flames. My blade I wield. How could I allow myself to forget? Revenge alone assures me peace of mind.
So they kind of shifted the Revenger plot lines to be more along the lines of the Hornsent. Now, I don't think that necessarily ties it back to like Castle Morn or anything like that, but I'm kind of glad because the Revengers stuff seemed pretty lame, to be honest. And yeah, the way that Hornsent plays out is completely different from that cut content. So like, he isn't trying to hunt down the Crucible Knights and things like that. So anyway, the vengeance will sustain him. That kind of ties into all of those things relating to Rancor. I'm kind of half a mind to go back to that resentment Hornsent ghost, where he talks about like taking the resentment of the hanged Hornsent in the trees and using it to make a curse to place on Messmer. But anyway, the Hornsent are certainly filled with negative emotions, this guy included.
Think not to hinder me upon my path, lest you too wish to face the reckoning.
So if you try to punch him here, I believe he turns into gold and just dissipates. So that's pretty much the end of his dialogue here. And then the next time we face him, he will be summonable or invadable at the Shadowkeep front gate area.
Think not to hinder me upon my path, lest you too wish to face the reckoning.
Whoops. Yep, so he just disappears in a puff of gold. And now, for some of like the funniest dialogue in the game, well, I guess it doesn't happen like immediately, but anyway. What truly makes Miquella terrifying is he's willing to sacrifice anything to get his goals. I mean, so is Ronnie, essentially. It's kind of like the law of the land, essentially. Survival of the fittest.
Oh, hello. Did you feel it? Miquella the Kind's enchantment appears to have broken. But while my devotion to kindly Miquella remains unchanged, by my troth I am not so sure about the others. No, wait. Perhaps this is a blessing in disguise. I can wield my sword to cull the undeserving, those unfit to bask in tender Miquella's presence. I should have thought of this earlier.
You know, I just had the realization that her belt is kind of like the design on Miquella's ring, like the knot, I guess.
Right. It's time to begin ferreting out those of us who don't deserve to be at kindly Miquella's side.
So we can tell her to suspect Tyler, the Hornsent, or nobody. I can't remember exactly what happens when she's told to sniff out Tyler's trail. I think she's like, oh yes, that makes sense. But really, I'm not that worried about him. He's not going to betray Miquella because he loves Saint Trina. So then she will talk about going after the Hornsent regardless. So we could tell her to go against the Hornsent or make no suggestion. And if you make no suggestion, that doesn't really matter. She'll just kind of eventually disappear and do her own thing to allegedly try to invade the Hornsent. Now, I don't know exactly what the triggers are for this, which is weird, and I might want to study it sometime. But apparently, you can have the Hornsent guy invade you in the final place of a near a limb, and I think that might happen if you don't let him invade you in the Rao Ruins after you defeat Messmer. So I'm assuming if you go through there first and clear out Ramana and then warp there directly, that might be what allows the Hornsent guy to invade you up there, which is really strange to me that he would decide to work with Leda in any capacity, rather than just being something like the equivalent of a purple invader from Dark Souls 3. Wait, are there any equivalents of purples in Elden Ring? I don't invade enough to know. I don't think so. Maybe there is. Should help our angry friend? Which one's the angry one? Stoat was trying to figure out who Tyler was. Yeah, it's what I like to call Tiolier, because his name is so extra. After beating Ramana, he invaded you in the Rao Ruins. So if you go back from the Ramana place, like down the stairs, he'll invade you there. But I think if you don't get invaded there, he will be in Anirlim. So maybe I should go face Ramana before Messmer. So do I want the Hornsent to fight me in the final battle, or do I want to just have... No, I said I was going to do Leda's quest to completion, perhaps. So we've already killed more. We can't kill Dane ahead of time. We can kill Freya in the place. And so we could also kill the Hornsent and, what's his face? Ansbach with Leda's help. Yeah, let's do that, because I'm kind of curious if there'll be like another unnamed NPC. Your dear Ansbach, yeah. Okay, so we will suggest she kill the Hornsent, even though I made no choice on my personal playthrough.
The Hornsent. On one hand, he trusts Mikula the Kind to bring salvation to his people. With the enchantment lifted, his vengeful passions may once again ignite. But surely he'd be mindful of kindly Mikula's promise. On the other hand, the Hornsent does present his own dangers. Perhaps your concerns are well-founded after all. Allow me some time to mull it over. Allow me some time to mull it over.
Alright, so that really... Whoops. Right, yeah. So that more or less completes this portion of their quest. I'm not going to worry about that Hornsent ghost since I already talked about it. Alright, so the Hornsent character himself seems to kind of have the model of a Tarnished. It is kind of funny to me that the Caterpillar mask has horns on it, which will also appear on our player character. So, is our Hornsent NPC actually Hornsent, or are they all ornamental? I feel like it could go either way, to be honest. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and visit Tiolier. He should no longer be by his spot on the hill over here. He should have gone to Trina because we talked to him about her. Garden of Deep Purple plus Saint Trina. I don't think Mikula chose any outer god for his patron.
Saint Trina. Oh, Saint Trina. What velvety ambrosia is this? Your poison and the sweet sleep that follows. Oh, please, let me hear your voice.
So is this guy sleep talking or something else going on? We try talking to Trina, nothing happens. But we can imbibe the nectar. We'll just leave. Alright, we imbibe Trina's nectar directly. We don't take the concoction. No wonder why I was tripping.
Then you too must have paid a visit to St. Trina's garden of deepest purple. I'm drifting off in the sea of her poison. Soon I will hear her voice. Let me be. I won't be long.
His voice seems off-center from his model.
Oh, I almost forgot. You mustn't follow my example. St. Trina's poison would plunge you into an eternal slumber. It must be me, and only me. I am gone, adrift in sleep, so that I may hear St. Trina's lost voice. Let me be. I won't be long.
Yeah, I also make fully formed sentences like that when I'm sleeping. I'm like, I'm gone.
I am gone, so that I let me
All right.
be.
So let's go ahead and rest just to show that this doesn't really change anything. Maybe he says something slightly different. I don't think so, though. But I may as well remember to use my runes. Maybe I should do mind at this point. Endurance. Actually, endurance would not be bad for this build. Do the minimum amount of dex so I can switch up my talismans if I want to. Flower girl gamer bathwater, essentially.
I am gone, so that I let me be.
As we thought. So this is Saint Trina. I guess the nectar is its blood. So Saint Trina's been like kind of cut in half, sort of, but not really. I did bring it up the first time we came and met Trina on the one stream, that because Trina is like half lily, half person, does that imply that Miquella used to be a half of a plant? Millennia kind of transforms into a plant after her fight. And then if Miquella and Millennia are both of the same genes as America and Radagon and were like born through parthenogenesis or something like that, does that imply that America and or Radagon are plant people? And if so, does that bear any relationship to the way the corpse statue things in the Shaman Village and Bonnie Village have roots growing out of them? But even setting all that stuff aside, it is kind of also noteworthy that whenever the Tarnished character dies, we like drop plant-like runes where we had died. So maybe we're all plants all the way down. Erdtree burial and rebirth was a thing all along because we're seed people. Greyard says, what does the nectar taste like, you think? You're thinking medicine? I'm assuming flowers or something like that. Something floral. Like watery honey? Yeah. Dot, dot, dot. Imbibe nectar. Nectar's lean. It is purple. And we just leaned. Stone coffin fissure.
I am gone, so that I
He gone. So we'll just keep repeating that ad nauseum until we start hearing its voice. What if the vast majority of the beings in the lands between are like plant creatures? Maybe. It would certainly help explain grafting. So I think on the third one, we start to hear the voice. And
Why won't you share your voice with me? Grant me more of your poison, that I might drift further into sleep. Perhaps then you'll grace me with your voice.
I was just going to complain about how unintuitive it is to do certain quests like this, like talking to the Randy doll so many times, and Trina.
Please, leave me alone. Please.
Boris says it's the fourth, okay. Miranda Flowers, the Greater Will confirmed with its lightless void, yes. Does that imply that Tyler is resistant to poison? I would need to like double check his armor set, but he certainly has shown enough interest in poisons that it wouldn't surprise me if he built up a tolerance. He also seemed to have had some interactions with Trina in the past to be so enthralled by her. So, potentially yes. Hey, Scalisi, nice to see you again.
Please.
Please. Bear, seek, seek, please. Here we go.
Mikela, stop. Don't turn the poor thing into a god.
So, Mikela abandoned his love, Saint Trina. And I don't know whether love in this context is meant as, how do I phrase it? Like, as a noun or an object. So, did he abandon his emotion or the object of his love, I guess? Maybe both. So, all right. We'll do some more of the Trina dialogue and then I'll pontificate a bit more.
Please.
Oh, so can pass on St. Trina's words or leave. I'm a little bit curious if Trina says anything else right now. If anything, I'm assuming they might just repeat the dialogue from earlier. Hey, Cantrell, nice to see you again. It seems like his emotion. Jack thinks emotion as well. So see, it's the little G on the god.
It would be Mikela's prison. A caged divinity is beyond saving.
Alright, so on my playthrough, I got that dialogue after having talked to Tiolier, so I'm just gonna do all of the Trina stuff that I can for now, and then pass on the words. So, if Trina already knows this to be true, I almost feel like Mikela probably should have known the same. There's the potential that Mikela was just stubborn and thought he'd be different. The true Chunibyo effect going on. And there might also just be an actual element of sacrifice to it, so
Must kill Mikela. Grant him forgiveness.
So, damn, that last line really sidetracked me. Right. So Mikela could be a bit of a tragic character. There might be a bit more depth to him, rather than just painting him as purely good or purely evil. There might be shades of gray, shades of purple to consider there. So I think that's the end of St. Trina's unique dialogue there. But we will find out for sure. So grant Mikela forgiveness by killing him is an interesting concept. And that might pertain to things like sin and death in general.
You must
Right, okay.
Mikkel. Grant him forgiveness.
So, to imply that we would grant him forgiveness would imply that there must be something to forgive, like some wrongdoing, some transgression, that could potentially tie into all of the sins of the Erdtree. But it certainly would be nice if we had a little bit more to work with all of that. So I'm probably going to want to stew on that one a bit more. So, yeah, I'll just talk to Teolier and maybe talk more.
Please.
Pass on St. Trina's words.
I'll thank you not to lie to me. I am the chosen, not you. Only I can doze off in the sea of St. Trina. Why would you hear her voice when I cannot? If you should utter these cruel untruths to me again, I won't be held responsible for my actions.
So we can try to pass on his words again, or St. Trina's words again, or leave. I don't know what happens if you leave. I wonder if that makes it so that he won't help you in the boss fight or anything like that. But anyway.
Please, enough. I cannot believe your cheek. And I will stand for it no longer.
You can say that again. He's definitely not standing for it. And hey, Admiral Jack, nice to see you again.
I will never forgive you. I will never.
Alright, so let's go talk to Trina again, and then that'll essentially be a rest cycle. And we could talk to Teolier again. Although I don't believe he says anything. Maybe he changes his mind. Or maybe we need to do that after killing Messmer. Realist thinks that it could refer to self-love, making him not care about being the caged divinity. That's an interesting thought. Okay, so this is different. No, okay.
Kill.
Boris asks, do we actually kill Mikkola or Radahn?
Forgive you. For your trespass, you will know my poison.
Forgot about this. He can parry me? Uh-oh, I'm poisoned.
Why did you mislead me? Such strength, but for what?
Saint Torina's smile. I'm old junkie. Oh, did the poison just fade when I went in here? Oh, is it because it's a pacifist zone? Alright. Forgiveness for his ambition for godhood, perhaps. Is Trina the feminine side of Mikkola? I don't know if it's fair to say that it's like only one side, but certainly it's a feminine aspect of Mikkola. I don't know if it's like the singular feminine aspect to him, but interesting question. And Catini, welcome back in. Cantrell says, sleep in the occult is symbolic of being blind, subconsciously devoid of awareness. He wanted enlightenment, so to speak, a man wanting to be God. Are you talking about Teolier or Mikkola here? I'm assuming Mikola because you said man wanting to be god. Okay, yeah. Alright. So, St. Trina's smile. A talisman depicting a smiling St. Trina, a vision conjured deep within a certain man's heart. Raises attack power when sleep is triggered in the vicinity. Quote, only I am allowed to know of your velvety sleep, its sweetly gentle embrace, so please smile, for me, and only me. Look at this worm.
You. I was no good to anyone. Beginning to end. Weak as a kitten, and thick as two planks. I suppose dying in disgrace is fitting, in a way. Tell me, please, assuming you spoke the truth back then. What did St. Trina tell you?
So now we can pass on Trina's words again or leave. I don't know what happens if you don't do it. I'm assuming nothing. Maybe that means what's-his-face won't follow us to a near limb.
You are a wretched, wretched soul. A nightmare come to plague me. Such a thing could possibly be. Could it? St. Trina, please let me hear your voice in my everlasting slumber. St. Trina, let me hear your voice in my everlasting slumber.
Alright, so one of the nicer things about the aspects of this quest is that it helps give us a rationale to kill Mikola, which is, you know, woefully missing from the base game, or not base game, from the rest of the DLC, with the exception of, hey, I'm not gonna kneel, I'm not gonna bend the knee. That's pretty much the only other one, which is cool, I guess, but it kind of sucks when some people might be more persuaded by Mikola's words than, like, joining Ronnie's order, for example, so it's unfortunate that this is so hidden behind, like, these dialogue options where you need to kill yourself multiple times to even hear them. So somebody was asking whether or not Teolier is male or female. We just read that talisman, which said he was male. And also welcome back into the stream, Counting Sheep. And then somebody was also asking whether or not Teolier could be related to the Mirai family, which maybe. The masks are similar. It's also kind of similar to a Zamorian mask, so.
You must kill.
Alright. Let's see if Tyler is still lying there, weak as a kitten. And then that will conclude this section of his quest. Wait, where are my runes? Are they over there now? Yeah, okay. Oh, he says, ah. Whoops! Nah, it's a pacifist zone. Alright, so that is that. And we're pretty much done with half the NPCs of the DLC at this point. So let's go on back to visit Knight Leda. She's probably not going to say anything too much. Or no, I think she does actually have dialogue. I think I forgot. I needed to rest. And then she like comes to the conclusion that she must hunt the Hornsent, I think. Since we didn't throw her off the trail with Tyler.
Ah, there you are. It took me long enough, I know. But I've made my decision. I believe it wisest to eliminate the Hornsent. If he were to point his blade at Sir Messmer or Queen Marika, perhaps it would not matter. But vengeance changes a man. And one day, his blade may turn towards Miquella the Kind. Kindly Miquella is, after all, the true golden child. Even if he discards every last drop of his being, his lineage will always remain. I believe the Hornsent suspects what I have in mind. He never placed his full trust in me, even under the effect of kindly Miquella's spell. He must have recognized something. The scent of the killer that slept within me. The stench of crusted blood.
So that's actually a really big hint as to the character of Leda, which will be expanded upon when we get the talismans from her. So I'll just kind of leave that as a bit of a mystery for now, which, you know, it's not the biggest of mysteries by any means.
I will follow the Hornsent. To have his revenge on Sir Messmer, there is only one place he will go. The Black Keep. I will follow the Hornsent. To have his revenge on the Black Keep.
Right, so she still disappears in a cloud of golden smoke, but now I believe she does not reset in this area. No, she does. Okay, interesting.
I will follow the to have his revenge. The Black Keep.
All right, so that is that. Let's go visit those two loverbirds. Which is the fastest way? Probably. I guess this way would be. Well. Grayard said, you don't know about the Murray connection? They're not tarnished, are they? Well, they are, because you can Deathblight Murray. And for anybody who's like, who the hell is Murray? It's do they call him Marley? Yeah, Marley in English. But his Japanese name, it's the same two names, so it's like Murray. Anyway, I don't think there's supposed to be like an actual connection between Tiolier and the Murray family, but some people think that their masks resemble each other. Alright, so I figured it was easier to deal with one of that guy than like the three of the little dudes, and maybe a little bit faster, maybe not, I don't know. So we can choose to assist the Hornsent with the gold one, or assist Leda with the red one. We could show off both sets of dialogue a bit by going into one and like jumping off the stage, but kind of don't want to take the time to do it. But you know what? It's a lore through, so I'll do that. So we'll assist the Hornsent first. Actually, I don't know if that affects the dialogue for Leda afterward, but we'll figure it out. Should let chat vote on who I side with? I mean, chat will have a vote, so will I. But the bad news is mine will outweigh it all.
Before your thirst for revenge beckons our undoing, I can no longer trust your word.
In the end, I knew this day would come. The nature of your kind, I am certain, will always show itself. Given time, interfere not with my business. Zealot, what could your purpose possibly be? I do not recollect begging for help.
So he calls us the Zealots, if that wasn't entirely clear. So if we hit her now...
Have you been taken in by the plight of the Hornsent? Foolish, but hardly unexpected. Man is a compassionate animal, for better or worse.
Whoops! Oh, I can't do that. Or can I? No. Man, they thought of everything. I think she will destroy him, typically. Alright. Can I finger sever? Maybe. But don't necessarily need to. So now let's assist Knight Leda. I don't know if the dialogue will play through since we played it on the other invasion, but I think it will. I think they always repeat this stuff.
Worthy Hornsent, I will dispose of you before your thirst for revenge beckons our undoing. I can no longer trust your word.
In the end, I knew this day would come. The nature of your kind, I am certain, will always show itself. Given time, interfere not with my business. Zealot.
What a surprise that you should join me here. I am pleased. Now go and make yourself useful.
Maybe he is calling her Zealot. It's kind of a weird line. I wonder if things got altered.
So, your mongrel blood shows through at last. I was a fool to expect more of you. Small wonder Miquella employed his spells.
So yeah.
Apologies. Oh, mother. Wife. And child.
Kindly Miquella never betrays a vow. Go. Your family awaits you.
Oh, they didn't fix this, or she just keeps R2ing ad nauseum. It's kind of goofy. So yeah, I do like a lot of the dialogue options there, and for having defeated Hornsent, we get the Falx, Caterpillar Mask, Braided Cord Robe, Arm Wraps, and a soiled loincloth because he pooped himself. So now we'll travel back to where Leda was, and she will tell us some more things. Oh, but before doing that, we will need to talk to Ansbach and Freya before we permanently piss them off. Actually, I think we can do that before Leda invades. Yeah. I think you need to finish the Ansbach stuff, and then that's when the summon signs appear. But, okay. You feel so bad for that guy. That character honestly breaks your heart. He'd backstab you in a heartbeat with your broken heart. I missed. Alright, I just wanted to do that. So we got a bunch of cool items. So, right, so like I said a moment ago, we are told that Teolier is indeed a man, because this is a vision conjured deep within a certain man's heart. So the Falx. Curved swords with long sickle-like blades, a pair of weapons made to be wielded in both hands. Forged by Hornsent in the name of revenge. Quote, "In vengeance for the flames, my blade I wield." Unique skill, Revenger's Blade. Dash up to an enemy and slash them open with the blades held in each hand. By holding down the button, the initial dash will be extended. Follow up with strong attack to hack the enemy to pieces. So I think this is one of the types of weapons where you can dual wield it by two-handing. Maybe not. Caterpillar Mask. Grotesque mask constructed from countless solidified caterpillars, a ritual implement of the greater potentates of Bonnie Village. Used to ward off thoughts of impurity, doubt, temptation, and other wickedness one is vulnerable to while absorbed in divine ritual. So I talk a lot about this in my last big video with the America, Hornsent, and like all of the jar scent. I don't know whether or not the caterpillars are related to the frozen maggots that we can find in the jails. I saw... Oh, yeah. So it came up when I was looking at the goo ritual, which I always forget what it's actually called in Japanese. Not GUI. GU. So I'm going to link the Wikipedia page. Hey, iMan, how's it going? And if you kind of scroll down to the bottom, hold on. They talk about stomach bugs. Why do they call them wugs? I don't know enough about this. But, damn. So this is... It has potentially, like, 9 meanings, but, they talk about dismembering sorcerers' ghosts who are impaled on stakes, which is kind of similar to Messmer being the impaler. It's also the soul of a dead person whose head had been pitted on a pole. Spirits of convicted criminals whose heads had been exposed on stakes. This is the same stuff. Hold on. Seems to reveal to us a belief that such a soul roaming restlessly about because of its corpse being mutilated must be avenging itself on the living by settling in their intestines in the shape of the same maggots and grubs which gnaw away its decaying head. So this might be indicative of that stuff going on. So like maybe the maggots won't attack them, metaphorically speaking, if they already seem to be like festering with maggots, might be the idea. I don't really know what to make of this. But anyway, there might be something going on with the caterpillars / maggot type stuff, which I don't fully understand, which is why I linked the Wikipedia page into chat in case you guys are more interested in that yourselves. So these are like stomach bugs, and I wonder if that's supposed to relate to the souls of the condemned criminals that the Hornsent and Potentates are working with. So that'll also tie into the braided cord robe's description, which says it's a ragged black cloth overlaid with braided cord. Attire of a vengeance-seeking Hornsent. The braided cord ties together the vow of the revenger with the victim's grudges and must never come undone. Enhances both watchful spirits and the vengeful spirits summoned by horned barons. So, grudges and vengeance are these kind of negative emotions which kind of transform into curses and can be used as parts of hexes against others. And that's especially true in the FromSoft games. So, like, all of the rancorous spirits from Ghostflame are vengeful spirits. And that's a little bit more tied together in the Japanese, but it's like not that big of a deal. Like, we have this similar types of concepts in the West, but maybe it's a little bit stronger in the Japanese psyche. But anyway, the fact that the braided cord ties together the Revenger's vengeance with victims' grudges is important, because it's used on behalf of the Hornsent to try to get revenge against like Messmer's forces, essentially. So vengeful spirits, watchful spirits, they're kind of all the same Onyo vengeful specters as far as the Japanese is concerned. Well, it's made clearer in this description, at least. Braided arm wraps doesn't really say too much, and the slightly soiled loincloth of ragged cloth does little more than conceal one's nether regions. So like I said, he pooped himself. Dylan says, Wug is apparently a folklore creature with worm and bug-like qualities. It's almost like they took the W from worm and just put bug behind it. I wonder if that's supposed to correspond to the 3 insect character, which means like wriggling or insect. So, yeah. And then Stoatboat said, that's why there's those flymen? Potentially. I don't know if the flymen thing is something native to the Hornsent, or if it was introduced by like coming into contact with the Mother of Truth, because we've got the blood flies, and I don't know if the blood flies created the fly affliction, but potentially. And then Realist said, have I analyzed the Lamenter yet? So I did talk about the Lamenter a bit on stream when we fought him, and he will come back up a little bit when we get into Near Limb proper. Yeah, no problem, Jack. I'm glad you are enjoying yourself. And Stoatboat said, the braided cord keeps the grudges to the clothes, like the horns on omens keep those vengeful spirits hounding them. Interesting. I don't know if it actually keeps it into the clothes. There might be some knot ties, KNOT, relating to like vows and things, which might tie into all that, pun intended, I suppose. So is that it? Yeah, so I did talk about how the caterpillar mask has horns on it itself, which is kind of goofy, and does make me question whether the Hornsent NPC does indeed have any horns of his own, or if they're all cosmetic. But I mean, we could also say the same thing of the Cursed Blade mask, so take it with a grain of salt. The potentates of Bonnie Village seem to be tarnished as well. Maybe I should try to Deathblight the actual Hornished NPC sometime. But even if he was able to be Deathblighted, I still wouldn't take it too seriously, to be honest. Hi. We get lots of stinky pants this DLC. Wait, what are the other stinky pants? Dang it. I thought he had golden eyes for a second. How did he get poisoned? Wait, what did he do? I didn't know this was a thing. Is he gonna, like, grab me? I've never seen that, chat, and I still haven't technically seen it. Man, I'm gonna probably come back just to see what happened with that. I wasn't trying to kill it. Oh, I think I know what happened. He probably got caught in the militiaman, like, smoke bomb thing. Yeah, that probably explains it. Yeah, well, it's what you guys are saying in chat. Why does FromSoft love feet so much? Couldn't begin to answer. What are my thoughts on the Fire Knights, by the way? It's a little bit vague. Do you want me to, like, talk about a specific thing? Because I don't really have, like, thoughts on them other than, like, what the lore says, that they were nobility of the Erdtree who accompanied Messmer and personally followed him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm gonna die. Rip the run. If I was smarter, I should have just exited out and entered again. Hey, we finally got the militiaman armor. Actually, I kind of wonder how that looks with the Oathseeker helmet. It's not terrible. It's not fantastic, though. I should really get Malekith set to see how well that goes with it. The realist hates feet. Keeping it real, indeed. Hey, Elden enthusiast, how's it going? Yeah, we will be fighting Messmer today. You soloed the Divine Lion for the first time? The first one or the second one? I think you were talking about fighting the first one, right? And how is that experience? I have mixed feelings about that Divine Lion fight. Like, it's cool as hell, but it's one hell of a mess of a camera fight. At least the first arena is kind of big enough to accommodate it, but even... Wait, don't jump over there. Even trying to get footage of it at quarter speed is a pain in the ass, trying to keep it in frame while it's fighting my Mimic. Bare feet's more common for many Asian religions. Bare feet's more common in many Asian religions. And for them to not wear shoes. I think it's a bit more of like an urban versus a rural thing. Generally speaking, but yeah. Elden wishes there was more space in the arena. Fighting it from range is a lot more fun. Okay, I could see why that would make sense, yeah. Matthew says the Divine Beast Dancing Lion has the best theme FromSoft has ever made. That's a bold claim when you also get to compare it to the likes of like Ludwig's theme or even Maria's. I know a lot of people enjoy. I really like the unused version of the Slave Knight Gale boss fight theme. The realist refuses to believe Jesus was a footman. Well, I regret to inform you he washed feet. Anyway.
It does make one think. Perhaps our concerns are but two sides of the same coin.
Bale's soundtrack is so much better. Not when you remember that it sounds exactly like the Batman theme in Phase 2.
Well, what's this? Yes, I should have known. Even the truth was itself mere folly. As if using Lord Moog to gain entrance to the Land of Shadow were not enough, he plans to use his corpse as the vessel of his king consort. He has forsaken Lord Moog's soul. He desires only his empty shell. It beggars belief, but I'm afraid Tender Mikola fails to grasp the humiliation implied by this act. One thing is certain. My dear lord deserved better. Righteous Tarnished, you have my gratitude. You have given me the answers I needed, but I can hardly fathom it. Such folly. Unto the end. I am a warrior, but I've aged. I cannot afford to act hastily. Curse it all. I know my limits. I could spend the rest of my life honing my craft, and still that creature would be out of my blade's reach. The absolute folly of it all. The absolute folly of it all.
Alright, so this kind of leads into the final boss fight when we get Mikola plus Radahn together. That kind of informs us that they're going to be using Moog's body to enact that thing. So they're going to use the empty shell of his body to beckon the remains of Radahn, which does raise the question of like what the hell happens to Moog's soul then? Was it disconnected from his body when we killed him? Why didn't it just come back if we can just throw Radahn's soul into it? I was really struggling to not say Radagon. Anyway, this kind of helps characterize Ansbach as a loyal, thoughtful attendant, which does bring up a lot of other questions about the nature of the pure blood knights and all that. And it also characterizes Mikola as a bit of a monster because he's so afraid of him, which he kind of brought up in that dialogue outside of Bellirat as well. So I think we can talk to Freya now, and that might advance their quest when we talk to Ansbach again. So let's go ahead and do that now.
I'm afraid I'm busy. Truly. I should have asked Ansbach to impart his knowledge when I had the chance. I'm afraid I'm busy. Truly. I should have asked Ansbach to impart his knowledge when I had the chance.
Alright, so now we gotta go back to Ansbach. That's too far. Right. Matthew asks, am I going to save Ansbach from Leda's attack or help her? So I'm actually going to help Leda on this playthrough. My individual playthrough, I helped nobody. Well, no, I guess I did help Ansbach, didn't I, toward the end? Or did I? Bro, why is my camera... That was super awkward. Dylan said, are you reading this wrong, or are some of the corpses giant torrents? No, that does indeed seem to be the case. That's brutal. Because it's spiky. I don't know why that seems more brutal than, like, being stabbed with a sword. Maybe because this is so much wider? Ugh.
Righteous Tarnished, could you please give this to Freya? Thanks to you, she too will have the answers she requires. Freya possesses a youth I no longer have. This knowledge will surely stoke the flames of valor within her. Yes. I can see her barreling into the fray right now.
Letter for Freya. Actually, will this allow us to summon her from Messmer? Will that allow us to use her against Radahn? I don't know about this.
Perhaps I shouldn't meddle in her affairs, but this is the only way I can help.
He's so modest. Okay, let's check this out. Letter for Freya. A letter written by Sir Ansbach to Freya the Redmane, presumably written in an answer to her query, but the page is neatly folded to keep prying eyes from reading it. So, the fact that Freya can read this letter does show off that there's something to the types of letters used in the Shadowkeep's archives, which it seems most people wouldn't really know. Or do we read this to her? I don't think so. That'd be kind of funny.
I'm afraid I'm busy. Truly. I should have asked Ansbach to impart his knowledge when I had the chance.
Pass on letter for Freya.
From Sir Ansbach? To me? What on earth could it... Oh. Yes. Of course. I see. As the Festival of War concluded, General Radahn's soul met an honorable end, but kindly Mikola wishes to revive it, which is fine by me. I know it would pain old Jeren, but war has always suited General Radahn best, and certainly far more than any honorable death. Endless war to invigorate the soul, as befits General Radahn, the great lion.
Alright, so invigorating the soul through endless war ties into a lot of those themes where I've been talking about pretty constantly throughout the course of the DLC. Wait, do I even have the Brand Sword Talismans? I don't think I do. Oh no, I'd actually have both. So the heart sings when one draws close to death, and thus does one cling so tenaciously to life, to render up a death-worth offering, and a glorious end awaits to those who cling so tenaciously to life. So one of the questions that brings in is that, are the characters like Godfrey and Radahn, who are so hellbent on war, so strong precisely because they're hellbent on war? Does this kind of repeated throwing oneself into the fray of battle...
What's
Whoopsies.
the matter with you?
I slipped. Does that legitimately continue to strengthen them, or do we have other stuff going on? I'm gonna piss her off just by jumping on her. Which, to be fair, that would be annoying as hell. And to answer Jack's question, I don't know if we can say that Moog had good intentions, to be fair there. So he might have beaten some allegations, but he's not, you know, a misunderstood angel, it seems. And Sayfrog, nice to see you again. You just finished watching the new Vadi video? His new theories about the Frenzied Flame are really out there, but pretty convincing. What's he say? I've been streaming since it came out, but you recommend? Okay, thank you. And then, oh yeah. The realist says, the mention of Jaren's interesting. Someone who knows Radahn better than anyone wouldn't want this, while Freya's admiration for Radahn is perhaps similar to Mikola's. Where did this... I brought this up somewhere. Oh, I remember. So I think this is in my criticisms of the lore video that I made, like my impressions of the lore. I was like, I don't really like what's going on with the Radahn situation. I think it's pretty telling that Jaren wouldn't have approved of this at all. But somebody was like trying to argue with me about that in the comments, or like just completely misunderstood the point that I was making. So yeah, I'm glad that the realist brought that up because I kind of forgot about it in relation to this. But yeah, I pretty much agree completely that if Jaren wouldn't have approved of the Radahn situation, then would that imply that Radahn wouldn't have approved of this situation either? Or does he really just not care as long as he's actually defeated honorably in battle? And it does bug me that we don't know General Radahn's opinions on being the Lord Consort to Mikola the Divine. Cal said, a lot of the DLC is about suffering and staving off madness. I would say you even have a lot of that in the base game with characters like Irina, Hayeta, and Edgar, more specifically. There's a lot of things relating to despair and the Frenzy Flame stuff. Even despair and the Nox and Estelle is a pretty big thing. Why is Freya named after Freya? Meaningful or incidental? Normally you kind of get what they might be going for with illusions, but it's not clicking for you with Freya. That's a good question. I would need to think about it. I would need to refresh myself on Freya's mythology, because I definitely know of her. I've like read all of the Norse stuff at some point, but I'm kind of bad at remembering the details. And it doesn't help that like the name Freya has appeared in so much other miscellaneous media that it kind of lost a bit of meaning for me, trying to keep them all straight. All right, so did she have anything else to say? Did I listen to it all?
Are you done? Kindly Mikola's enchantment has expired. It can be disorientating, to say the least.
She said that because I jumped on her.
Thank you. Now I finally cast off my misgivings. Give my regards to Honorable Ansbach. Tell him, if we should meet in battle, to face your bow would be fine enough, but to face your blade would be an honor.
Get the golden lion shield.
Brave warrior. Perhaps next time we too will meet on the battlefield. Brave warrior.
So I'm gonna fexture this real quick to see if we can summon her for Messmer or Radahn, because I wonder if Ansbach's plans just like backfired, because he's like trying to fire up Freya for some reason, but like why? She moves on from the Shadow Keep, and then I don't know what happens. It doesn't say. So I guess she's just going to go to the final area and fight us. So I don't really understand the whole point of that. So if we rest, she might disappear. She just joins the Leda gank. Okay, that's what I was thinking, Greyard, and thank you. Elden thinks Radahn made a vow with Miquella but broke it later. You do well to remember severing a vow, strongest of bonds, has consequences ever more dire. I really like that thought. That's a pretty cool thing, and that would be a really good like lore video idea to make. I'm not gonna steal it. Don't worry about it. But that just might be a good idea for your channel, because maybe somebody else has already like brought up that angle, but I haven't heard it yet, at least. And Mehmet, welcome on in. But be careful to spam, especially if you're just trying to be an Onion Knight, because the Nightbot's going to get you. Alright. The vow is kind of like a curse, but self-inflicted? Maybe. Freya's your favorite of the 5? Whoops. I like Ansbach the most.
For a fight, are you? Haven't you any patience whatsoever? No matter. I could do with a warm-up.
So I think her dialogue does change a little bit if you attack her before finishing her questline here. Damn. That was brutal. She even has volcano pots? I guess that wasn't a volcano pot. Oh, I want to stay in the room. Don't piss off the other Fire Knight.
Pitiful place to meet your end. A warrior should know. Any fight might be your last.
I guess it's good that I died because I forgot. I like to show off the kill quotes. I mean, that was totally on purpose, chat. Hashtag calculated. Oh, you meant like of the ones that you fight in the gank, choose your favorite? Do you mean like mechanically or fudge? I goofed. Let me go ahead and pull out the save file. No, I'm just kidding. Damn, you really only get one shot to get beaten by her. That sucks. I was hoping that by like triggering the aggro phase that she wouldn't just dip out. But I was wrong. So now that that's done, have I talked to Leda? I'm assuming not if she's here at the cross. We can talk to Leda and then finish the Ansbach stuff. I have your permission? Thanks. Nah, I probably won't cover it, but I like that idea, though. Sayfrog wishes Freya's voice actress was more brash. In a one-on-one context, once more join in, she's awful, yeah. Does Celestial Dew reset her? It doesn't matter, because if you talk to, not talk to her, well, if you finish her quest line there, she's just going to join the gank squad. So I doubt Celestial Dew would fix that. I mean, we could try, like, we don't have anything to lose from it. We'll talk to Leda first.
Ah, there you are. Well fought. You have my gratitude. He was never going to see eye to eye with us, but his words were ill-founded. It was hard to hear, I know.
So we get our first cool-ass talisman, the Lacerating Crossed Tree.
I know I shouldn't let myself, but I suppose it's only natural to feel the weight of one's deeds at times like these. There's plenty left to be done, and I will see to it. Who else, I wonder? I don't enjoy casting suspicion on anyone I've called a comrade, but it's a small sacrifice in the grand scheme of things. We must eradicate all doubt. Who else? I wonder. I don't enjoy, but it's a small...
Alright, so that is that for now. Let's go ahead and read. A handicraft depicting a golden crossed tree. One of the items conferred to the Needle Knights enhances dash attacks. Long ago, the Needle Knights were in service of Miquella, but now they are no more, save for one. Which, interesting. Alright. Might be better to keep Ansbach alive if it's going to be a 3v1. No, I think you get a random Pureblood Knight. Actually, I don't know if you could try Ansbach. But it won't be a 3v1. Well, hold on. I guess it would be. Because it'd be Dane, Freya, and Leda. I would have my Mimic, and that's good enough, honestly. If Radahn genuinely meant to marry Miquella before going back on his word to make a better world, it would add to Miquella's tragedy. Mick might not have resorted to such extreme measures to become God. Interesting.
Ah, there you are. I'm afraid Sir Ansbach will have to be next. He insists that he's nothing but a worn-down over-the-hill soldier. But in his day, he was the feared commander of the pure-blood knights, who cleaved open Miquella the Kind with his blood blade. He claims he hasn't the spirit to take up his sword again, but I doubt it'll be very long before he recalls, as I have, the cascading sheets of blood. I'm afraid he cannot be left to fester.
So, this line of dialogue kind of annoys me because Ansbach makes it sound like his blade never reached Miquella, whereas Leda right here makes it sound like he is the one responsible for having wounded Miquella. So, anyway.
I've come to a realization. There's ample evidence. Without kindly Miquella's influence, I'm quite mistrustful of others.
That's my favorite dialogue in the DLC, and perhaps even the full game. Just that level of self-awareness, but not giving a damn regardless, is just so hilariously ironic to me.
I've come to a realization. There's ample evidence. Without kindly Miquella's influence, I'm quite mistrustful of others.
Oops. Yeah, so even if you hit her here, she'll disappear, no hard feelings. So you're right. Let's go see if we can't use that Celestial Dew. What are these needles supposed to do, or is it just a badge for the knights? So we have Miquella's needle, so that might be like a reference to them being like blades of Miquella that aren't millennia, perhaps? Oh, who'd we piss off? Dude, if this works with Freya, that's going to be kind of wild. So Leda is still there. Ant's back. Okay, no, we ain't got no Fredja. Well, maybe her icon isn't there because this would have loaded in later. Yep, that's kind of what I figured. Who did I piss off? Who is left to piss off? Was it Muriel? Was it Grandma? Was it the Hornsent guy himself? I have no idea, guys. Alright. I'm more violent than Messmer. I keep trying to murder everyone. Well, to make an omelet, sometimes you first need to invent the universe. I was not trying to piss these guys off. I do wish this had a little bit more range, but I mean, this weapon's kind of already OP as it is. Cookeries.
Perhaps I shouldn't meddle in her affairs, but this is the only way I can help.
Pass on Freya's message.
I should have expected as much from Freya. Some things simply never occur to her. Paralyzing fear. True despair. That's Freya through and through. That's Freya.
Alright, so Ansbach certainly did not anticipate that reaction from Freya. I kind of forgot about his dialogue right here, which I should have known Freya. I don't know. So anyway, he may have been trying to have Freya help him, but that plan may have backfired in his face. So, now that we've done that, we can either be summoned to assist Ansbach or assist Leda. So just like we did with the Hornsent, we're going to try to help him first to get a bit of their dialogue and then fail there.
Sir Ansbach, I will dispose of you. I find that I have a new apprehension. Your ambivalence. And exactly where it might lead you.
So, you would cull an old man such as I. You are thorough indeed, Lady Leda. I would expect nothing less. As you surmise, I do have my doubts, and will not simply lay down and die with them. Have you lost your wits? By my troth, you have no such debt to this old man. Though I gladly welcome your decision. Now I might even live to see the morrow.
So you've chosen your side, have you? Despite having no debt to the Lord of Blood. I suppose it was Sir Ansbach who won you over. Fine. One more heart for my blade to skewer. With this battle I sent you on. It was an honor. Now go.
Gotta love all the arrows sticking out of her model as well. So, one thing to talk about with that fight is Leda saying we have no duty towards Mohg, which, I don't know, I kind of feel as though we may have made a bit of an oopsie by killing him, and maybe we could make it up to him by trying to ameliorate the situation, but, you know. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the other fights. Leda scares Jack. Stoat says Ansbach is such a G. Yeah, he really is, though.
Sir Ansbach, I will dispose of you. I find that I have a new apprehension. Your ambivalence. And exactly where it might lead you.
So, you would cull an old man such as I. You are thorough indeed, Lady Leda. I would expect nothing less. As you surmise, I do have my doubts, and will not simply lay down and die with them.
You've come again, have you? Thank you. Now go and make yourself useful.
Captini asks, if Mohg was not killed, could they still have used his body? Probably not to summon Radahn, but they may have been using his body to...
This is an unexpected victory. It seems I have my uses.
That's funny. I'm surprised she didn't aggro. That's why Ansbach's the best. So anyway, they may have been using Mohg's body to first get into the Shadowlands, but I think to answer your question, he would not have become Radahn. His beard's canonically faked. Yeah.
I will dispose of you. I find that I have a new apprehension.
He will fix her. You'll be affixed by her.
And exactly where it might lead you.
So, you would call an old man such as I. You are thorough indeed, Lady Leda. I would expect nothing less. As you surmise, I do have my doubts, and will not simply lay down and die with them.
You've come again, have you? Thank you. Now go make yourself useful.
So you've taken Lady Leda's side. I'm glad she stands with an ally. She tends to overestimate the burden she might carry alone.
What a friendly, affable fellow. Almost makes the bloody fingers seem like bloody nice guys. Leda's a menace for real.
I've utterly failed you both. Mikola the Kind. Lord Moog.
Thank you for all that you have done, Sir Ansbach.
Alright, so invasion's complete. We get the wise man's mask, Ansbach's attire, manchettes, boots, and his longbow. So I believe you only get his weapon when you actually finish like the DLC with him on your side against Radahn. So that's like one of the trade-offs for this. There is no trade-off for like betraying the Hornsent, except for the fact that you'll actually lose out on an item. So that seems like the best choice to make if you're trying to go purely for completion's sake. So let's go see our gal. Wait, why are my runes over there? Oh, right, from Freya? No. Whatever, it's gonna annoy me that that's there though. Alright, Elden, you have a good night. The whole time you fight him, he's encouraging you? He killed me when I invaded that one time. Well, I wasn't trying to fight him. I was trying to get that dialogue. I should have let the Hornsent kill me, but I couldn't be assured that Leda wouldn't kill him first.
Ah, there you are. I owe you for your help in battle. Once again. Sir Ansbach must have considered it an honourable end, being felled by your hand. After all, the good fellow held you in the highest regard. When we speak of it, we may speak with pride that we were Sir Ansbach's final adversaries.
Retaliatory cross tree.
You are an odd one, aren't you? The enchantment is broken, and yet you alone appear completely unchanged, as if nothing was ever cast upon you. No matter. If you found your way here, it was because kindly Mikola wished it so. But I am afraid this is our farewell. When next we meet, let it be under the eyes of Mikola the Kind. Goodbye, comrade. I'm afraid this is our farewell, comrade. When next we meet, let it be under the eyes of Mikola the Kind.
I do think it's unfortunate that we can't summon her for Messmer then. But I do like that she seems to be suspicious of us as well. And I think that aligns perfectly with her characterization of casting suspicion on all of her other comrades. So it seems perfectly natural for her to come to the same conclusion about us as well. Which, I don't know, it's just really funny to me. Alright, so that is it with all of those quests. I'm not gonna... I am gonna worry about it, aren't I? Let's go to the 4th floor. It's kind of weird that they put our runes where we, like, physically died rather than next to the Ansbach spot. I guess it makes sense, but it's a little bit annoying. Wait, so it's higher? Wait, where were we even fighting? Can't wait to hear how Vadi makes an hour-long story out of Midra, or video out of Midra's story. I can't read. Jack wonders if he's a representation of what the Lord of Blood was. His whole thing was like before Mikola messed everything up. Are you talking about Ansbach or Moog? This is a tanky boy. Oh, so I'm like right on top of it. So I take damage for guard breaking. Or not guard breaking, guard countering. Which is fine. I just need to know that much. So I'm still too high above. Wait, what? Okay. Wait, no, I'm too low? I've screwed everything up. Hey Dylan, if you need to see the example of the spirals. Anyway, it's too late now. So it's above the 7th floor? That's where I was at? Or was I still too high up? Or is it in his room, after all? Nope, okay. So I was just too high up. Okay, that makes sense. Can't fast travel because I'm in combat, of course. Alright, so we'll warp to Messmer and then read the retaliatory crossed tree things. And then fight our guy. This ain't gonna help me against him. Okay, so that stays on. I wonder if there's like another shield talisman of some sort. I think there is, but I don't think I have it. Thinking about what I want to use. Was this? I'm assuming that it would work. It's not gonna help me. That's probably the best. Anyway. Golden Lion Shield is a shield made to resemble a fierce golden lion with a luxuriant mane, awarded to especially valorous members of Radahn's personal guard on the occasion of its formation. Unique skill, Roaring Bash, isn't too important. Lacerating Cross Tree. Handicraft. Wait, no, we read that one. Retaliatory Cross Tree. Handicraft depicting a golden crossed tree. One of the items conferred to the Needle Knights. Enhances attacks executed after rolling or backstepping. Long ago, the Needle Knights were in service of Miquella, but now they are no more, save for one. Oh, so maybe it's in Leda's set where it becomes more explicit. Okay, so I hyped it up, and it's going to take too long to get to it this stream, so I'll just talk about the story now. That Leda murdered her other Needle Knights, and so when she says that the Hornsent smells like crusted blood on her, it's probably because she murdered all of the other ones, and so she's just paranoid that he's onto her. The Great Shield talismans in the encampment wagons from the Erdtree grazing side of Grace. Okay. It's her sword. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about that sword talisman, but thank you for letting me know where it is. Appreciate that. That talisman also spirals counterclockwise. From the top or the bottom? Alright. Wise Man's Mask. The iron mask of Sir Ansbach, giving the appearance of a quiet, wise, old bearded man. But an old fear lurks beneath, together with the cold, unflinching discipline that once honed his blade, now employed to enhance blood oath and dynastic skills. So, it's true that his beard's a fake, a phony, a big fat phony. It would actually be kind of cool if you could alter the mask to not have the beard, I guess. Ansbach's attire. Attire of Sir Ansbach, the embroidered crest of the Pureblood Knights, has now all but faded away. Slightly enhances blood oath and dynastic skills. Ansbach understood that keeping his oath to his old master was not an act of logic, nor would it bear any justice, but it was for these very reasons he was unable to let go. Ansbach's manchettes. Manchettes of Sir Ansbach, black leather adorned with gold embroidery, slightly enhances blood oath and dynastic skills, same with the boots. Ansbach's longbow, weapon of Sir Ansbach, a longbow consisting of 2 bow bodies and 2 strings. Unusually for a longbow, it can be wielded similarly to a light bow, provided that the wielder has the extraordinary dexterity demanded. I wonder why there's 2 of them. Unique skill, fan shot, and that just uses 8 arrows at once, which is what our guy was using against us. So the 2 talismans that we get from Leda are actually really useful for a lot of builds, being able to enhance dash attacks and like rolling and backstep attacks. Can be really good depending on things. So let me double check me Ashes of War. This will probably be fine against Messmer. So we've killed Hornsent. So let's see if we could like summon Freya for this or anything. This cloak looks cool. You want that for fashion purposes?
Mongrel intruder. That tarnished, it seemeth. Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light? Yet, my purpose standeth unchanged. Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death. In the embrace of Messmer's flame.
So there's a lot to talk about with Messmer. What do I want to say first, though? His left eye is closed, is sealed. His right eye has like the kind of rune of America type thing in it. He's got some dogs on him. But anyway.
Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death. In
All
the
right.
embrace of Messmer's flame.
That's what I wanted to talk about. So for whatever reason, they changed his voice actor's lines or dialogue from the story trailer to be delivered slightly differently in the final version of the game, which is an interesting choice. I know some people like this version better for like the boss fight. Maybe it's because I got too used to the original, but I preferred the original one in the story trailer. You can summon Yolan for this fight if you've progressed Ymir's questline far enough. Interesting. I got too far, I killed Yolan. This is our Crusader's favorite character? Legless dogs, yeah. They got them long tongues. Alright, so what else is it going to say about Messmer and his design? Right, so the fact that all of the tarnished, those devoid of light, shall meet death in the embrace of Messmer's flame is kind of a weird thing. I think there was content lines of Miquella having like met or talked to Messmer, and that might help establish why he's attacking us like this.
Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death. In the embrace of Messmer's flame.
But I also think it's kind of weird how Quayline is aligned with Messmer. Does that then imply that the sealing of the realm of shadow happened after the Tarnished left with Godfrey? Was Quayline one of them? Did the Tarnished come here first before they were beckoned back into the lands between proper? That's definitely a thought that I've had. I know some people think that Fort Reprimand looks like where Dung Eater was hanged, but I think it's arguable. I don't think like the towers in the back of the Dung Eater painting really align perfectly with the Fort Reprimand, but that's not a big deal. Man, there are a lot of bloodstains here, a lot more than I would have expected. They do that trick a lot, using a different take of the same line in a different context. Yeah. Miquella spoke of thee. Okay, that's what the cut line was. Some characters, once they repeat a line, the repeats are a different take of that line. Yeah, so that's true. Once you exhaust the dialogue, they'll just have like the 2-line version of what they said, like the summary of their dialogue, which is kind of a good and a bad thing. I think it really sucks that so much of the dialogue is kind of permanently missable. So if you get distracted by a family member, a pet, an Amazon delivery at the wrong moment, you'll just kind of be lost in the sauce, which is another reason to argue in favor of there being like a save option rather than just the permanent autosave feature of the games. So I bring it up often enough when I get on this tangent that I would have missed Latenna's dialogue in the consecrated snowfield region, the mountaintops of the giants, if I hadn't been save scumming, because she was talking and I was not paying attention. I think like my dog distracted me. Anyway, so I think that was all I wanted to say about that. Blood Flame Blade seems like a bad idea. Let me take some stuff off. I'll give Messmer like a couple tries solo just to see how that goes with this weapon, and then I'll pull out the Mimic. And I don't think this should be too bad with the Mimic, especially with blessings. And then I'll try to save my thing for phase 2. That's kind of dirty. Okay, rolled too soon. Nope. Okay. He dead zoned me? Damn it. It took too long to follow it up. I was hoping that was gonna stance break him. Oh, I rolled too early.
Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Messmer's flame.
So yeah, he's familiar with stripping people of the grace of gold, so there is that tarnished connection, but again, we don't really know if that was something he learned more recently or if it's just something he knew of a long time ago. Oops, I forgot to buff up. Whatever, just get good. Forehead. I was trying to roll. I was slow. Damn it. I can't see. That's annoying. Dodging attack and still getting punished for healing. A wasted heal there.
Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Messmer.
So I just need to play better there. No big deal. I should use barricade shield more, I guess. That'd probably actually be good. The sheer loyalty of the Fire Knights, Gaius, Rolana, and the fact that he mourns the loss of a Black Knight all paint a picture that Messmer is not so much of a bad person. He's a really sympathetic character. Except he locked his dudes in a dungeon. I guess he could have impaled them. Yeah, it's really easy to overlook his good qualities on account of all the genocide, huh? No, the camera got me. I was not trying to roll into that attack. Zoinks. Okay, so that's something we can do with that. Okay. I'm learning. I can actually do the charged R2s with everything. I was trying to roll. Ew, what the hell was that? I rolled too soon again. I do like how they make the sound get not muted, but dimmed. What's the word? Dulled?
In the embrace
when that happens?
of Messmer's flame.
It's kind of crazy to me how loud the sound effects are for that stuff still. Because I think my sound effects are on 2. Oh, even the music's on too, so maybe it's just my volume that's a little bit loud. Alright. Hey Creary, how's it going? Welcome into the stream. With this shield is crazy. Yeah, so I haven't used this weapon. I've heard it's good, so I'm just kind of like screwing around with it. I like to use the Ancient Meteoric or Greatsword more though. When your mother's a god, you don't have a choice of not committing genocide. You cheating. Okay. Don't roll away from his attacks. Roll into them. Forehead. Oh, man, that's so annoying to me. Ah. I was supposed to have been rolling away. I don't even care. I'm a little bit tilted after that.
Death in the embrace of Messmer's flame.
So yeah, I know a lot of people actually really like the Messmer fight, but I kind of hate it for some of those reasons where like he's a little bit too aggressive. Like I feel like I should be able to heal after dodging some of his attacks. And those opportunities don't fully present themselves at times. That's kind of funny. My tracking. And then we just have those kind of camera issues where I was getting caught. Oh my god, come on, R2 bro. Where I was rolling into attacks because of like his movement. And he's not exactly a boss you can entirely lock or unlock on because of the nature of some of their attacks. Okay, I was too slow on my roll. I could have done better there. That was me. That hit me? I'm gonna die. Okay.
The grace of gold shall all meet death.
Alright, I'll do this a couple more tries just for my own satisfaction. And then I'll switch to the Ancient Meteoric or Greatsword without summoning just for my own satisfaction. And if I actually like die a couple times after that, then I'll just summon the Mimic for the hell of it. Because I don't want to spend all night here. Just part of it. Was I not attacking?
Those restricted the grace of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Messmer's flame.
Throne says second phase is wild. Dylan's still a bit confused by what's going on with the snakes here. I think we all are. So he's like part snake, but his little snakes aren't part of like the main snake. They're just his companions. I delayed my second dodge for once. I don't know if he caught me in the charge or if I got eaten again. That was definitely my fault. Oh my god, I rolled too early. Alright, so that was me learning. I'll give this like my last solo attempt with this weapon. Because I'm definitely playing a lot worse because I know I can like cheese it. And I don't want to fight him normally with this weapon. Okay, so I'm able to land that. Yes, I need to like jump attack that. Okay. Oh, that's the attack that I need to double dodge on. That one really upset me on my blessingless run. I rolled. Okay, whatever.
In the embrace of Messmer's flame.
Yeah, I do have the Baldican blessing. It's not like I don't think it's significant enough. I would only really consider it if I was actually being one shot. It's not that big of a deal to me to have the blessing in my inventory. What am I doing? Okay. Let's see how this goes. First phase is peak for counting sheep. Still not sure what you think about second phase. You need to properly learn it. Hey guys, I remembered how to dodge a second attack. Apparently not any of these ones. This is not worth it. Alright, so I rolled too early. Oh, come on. I thought he would have been close enough to posture break. That's definitely my fault.
In the embrace of Messmer's flame.
Maybe he hit me too much. I just need to play better. You're rooting for Messmer to win? Alright. Now it's time to beat the brakes off of him. Should have attacked sooner. Okay, only needed to heal once. What? Did I start running? I think I held circle too long, and then I started running and it didn't dodge. I hate that. See, getting punished for that is garbage, I'm gonna be honest. Me being punished there is fine. Aw, man, I was on the wall. Okay. So I can't punish that. Apparently I've completely forgotten how to actually fight Messmer.
In the embrace of Messmer's.
I will do one more attempt solo, and then I'll just summon the Mimic to speed things up. Like how the fire fans out like a fan when he impales you. That is a really cool attack. It's like Millennia's thrust in one too. What's with the random snake skin? Oh, the one outside Bonnie looks like the one in Temple Agley. So some people think it could be related to Messmer. It is by like the statue, which I think could be analogous to America. And that's where we get the "Oh Mother" gesture from. So it seems like it could be Messmer coded. I shouldn't do that because I'm out of stamina. Ooh-wee, that was not smart what I did, but it worked out. Okay. That was a fail. What? I didn't roll. Come on, man. I tried rolling twice. I was too slow, I guess. On my first roll, oh, he got me. Dude, I haven't gotten him to phase 2 yet. That sucks. All right, I lied. I'm going to get him to phase 2 this time at the very least, and then I will summon. What did I fight Messmer with last time? I don't remember off the top of my head. I think I probably used this, but I might have also had my shield out. But I summoned for Messmer. Like, I wasn't going to fight this dude graceless. Or not graceless, but blessingless. Not a summoned a person. I just used my mimic. I know Lance McDonald fought him without blessings and without summons, so he's more hardcore than I am about that. Oh no, I thought that was the one attack. The one where he lands normally. Whoopsies. I thought it was that attack. He still hasn't lost his posture? There we go.
I will not suffer. A lord devoid of light. No, mother. Forgive me. Soon tarnished. wilt thou be taken in the jaws of the abyssal serpent, shorn of light.
Uh-oh. So, about that... Oh no. Save me, Mimic. So he is really upset that we are devoid of light. And I think part of the reason for that is because it shows that America is willing to accept things that are devoid of light, and he is devoid of light. So it might imply that he is not good enough for America, and he just can't accept that situation, perhaps. So that might just add to the tragedy of his character. I laughed because he just got pooped on by the Mimic. Oh wow, he's really dying. I was trying to jump attack. Oh, don't need to. Screw you, guy!
Mother. America. A curse upon thee.
Demigod felled. Remembrance of the Impaler plus Messmer's Kindling. Bro, Mimic makes things so much easier. It's so stupid. Just like the passive damage from like the fast poison and whatnot. So strong. And also just the aggro control to have a second to heal at times is paramount. Yeah, I honestly have no idea how to actually properly handle his second phase, mano y mano, without like cheesing things with a fully barricade shield and whatnot. But anyway, that was the Messmer fight. So, of course, me saying that us being devoid of light might just show the difference between how America viewed us versus viewing him, despite us kind of having that commonality of being lightless, might be what triggers Messmer is more or less just conjecture. And one way to contrast the two could still be that at our root, the Tarnished should have had light to begin with, whereas at Messmer's root, he was a lightless creature. So that could be the difference between the two of them. But at the very end there, he says, Mother America, like, I curse thee. And that might show that he's truly fallen into hopelessness, and he may have held out hope that America would have come back and like embraced him because she gave him that seal of light. That's kind of like indicative of her love. And so he kind of had to abandon it to try to fill out her missive, but even that wasn't good enough. So he's essentially given up his entire fate, his everything, in service of his mother, who has abandoned him in the realm of shadow. And part of the reason why I think he believed in America is because this is the only statue in the DLC that is directly of America where she's not been beheaded or defaced, literally. And so he does seem to hold reverence for her despite everything. And that will tie into his remembrance and the remembrance items that we'll look at in just a moment here. Alright, and thank you all for the GGs. I appreciate that. And Hilko, Korn, nice to see you guys again. The last words are a bit sus, yeah. The kindling siblings just need hugs. He takes more stagger damage in the snake form, maybe. I think I drank my flask, so that might have already... No, I did drink my flask because I couldn't use it again by accident, so that was probably a big factor. Counting Sheep always assumed the Hornsent weren't blessed with grace and light, and that's why they got purged in Messmer's flame. Yeah, I don't know if they had grace or light. We are told, well, I guess it's cut content, that grace was brought with the Erdtree. So if the Hornsent predate that, then they presumably wouldn't. But at the very least, we're told that the Omen are graceless, So that might play into things. Stowboat asks, do I think she abandoned him because of the fear and selfish reasons, or because she was imprisoned in the tree? It's hard to say. Obviously, she couldn't come back when she was imprisoned in the tree, but we don't know how much, if any, interaction she would have had with Messmer after the Night of Black Knives, and how quickly she despaired and broke the ring after Godwin's assassination, or like what her machinations were with the Realm of Shadow after the Crusade. So, good question. Anybody's guess. And yeah, he says Messmer knowing about us being potential lord is really odd with the cut Mikola told me about, without the Mikola told me about you lines. So there might be something about it to suggest that the Tarnished is lord that we don't really know about. I also think it's really sloppy how they handled some of Mikola's lines in like the boss fight where he calls us Lord of the Old Order, because you can essentially do everything in the DLC before even killing the fire giant and sacrificing Melina. So I think a lot of this stuff was just handled very sloppily, to be honest here. Corn asks, why is Marika wearing Radagon's belt? Maybe Radagon was always wearing Marika's belt. You ever think about that? And then Dylan thinks Messmer is a reference to Franz Messmer, the proto-psychologist who came up with hypnotism and the idea of animal magnetism. Animal magnetism asserted all living beings had an invisible fluid energy inside them that behaves magnetically like celestial bodies do, and mastering this could heal the mind and the body of any element. And that's also where we get the term mesmerize from. It's from like an actual dude, which I did not realize until I was looking up the etymology of Messmer. So yeah. I think there's a strong possibility that he could be related to Messmer as in mesmerize, but that could also be like an inadvertent like pun type situation where Messmer could be a snake that's been mesmerized, like snake danced, snake charmed by Marika, I guess. So there's a couple different ways we could read that whole situation. Captain asked, did the Two Fingers room always have this weird fading effect on the edges of the screen? So yeah, that's kind of always, it's not just the place here, but there's Elden Ring always has a vignette going on unless you are playing with the camera mod. But it is especially noticeable here. Counting Sheep said, Messmer went on this genocide he didn't want to do as a ruse to abandon him while revenge on the Hornsent, and that's what makes Messmer angry, seeing accepted lightless despite Messmer's orders. Potentially. We don't know for sure, but that's kind of like a certain vibe that I'm getting right now. The Tarnished lightless being proof of his mother's abandonment, he doesn't want to accept it. Yes, that's kind of what I think. That's your thoughts too? Okay. Messmer's mom's got it going on? Okay. And then Matt asks, could it be that our Tarnished was always destined to become Lord, and something about us in the Shadow Realm gives that away? Or maybe Mikola could see it. I don't know if there's a good answer, because Mikola says that like we're the Lord of the Old Order. So it could be our fate, which, if that's the case, it brings up a lot of questions about like Mikola abandoning his fate, because then like, hey idiot, why didn't you just divine from the stars that you were going to fail in your lordship? Or maybe it was just all a calculated gamble on his part, but everybody else seems to believe it, rather than just like falling to their knees and kowtowing to the Tarnished whenever they meet us, with the exception of Bach, the true astrologer of the game. Hey, Ayinat, nice to see you again. Marika accepted our lightless asses, but not Messmer's. Must have broken his heart when he realized. Well, he does curse her. So, yeah. I think he was holding out hope until we snuffed out his light. Or I guess he snuffed out his own light, literally speaking, but I don't know. That's a silly pun. All right. So let's go check out that Remembrance, as I like to joke about it, and the affiliated items. Remembrance of the Impaler. Remembrance of Messmer the Impaler, hewn into the Shadow Tree. A malevolent snake writhed within Messmer, and so his very mother plucked out his eye and put in its place a seal of grace. Yet having done so, her fear compelled her to secret away her child within the realm of shadow. Hidden away, keeping company with the original sin and a hatred that would not be confined. So, hold on here, let me hydrate real quick. All right, so I did make a short about this in that there is no reference to fear in the Remembrance about America. So I think it's really odd that they characterized it this way. Maybe there's a difference in the script as far as the Japanese goes, and maybe it got like updated after the fact. I don't know. I didn't remember the final lines being in this description. I want to double check that real quick. Whoops. Because there's something else which talks about like the original sin and the first sin. Okay, yeah, so this one is correct. Oh yeah, it was the Miquella's Great Rune. I was confusing which item was which for a second. So yeah, no, the first sin, original sin, I know some people are a little bit upset about calling it the original sin in the localization because they don't want people to get it confused with the concept of original sin in Catholicism, which is totally understandable, and I get that completely. The Japanese is Hajimari no Sumi, and Hajimari is like beginning, coming from like Hajimaru, to begin. So it's the beginning sin, the original sin, etc., which is perfectly fine. But as I had mentioned a moment ago, there is no reference to fear compelling Marika to secret away her child. So for anybody who did not catch the short video that I made about this, I do have my translation handy of the first flavor text paragraph. A wicked snake writhed within Messmer. His mother replaced his eye with a sealing grace, yet nevertheless hid him within shadow. So, obviously mine's a bit more literal there. And we were talking a little bit about this in the Discord earlier today in the Semantics channel about like what it means for his eye to have been plucked out and his fate. Hold on. Wait, no, is his fate not in this line? Okay, yeah, no, it's not this item. It'll be one of the other ones. Maybe the kindling thing. So, moving on to the Spear of the Impaler. It's weapon of Messmer the Impaler. A great spear with a warped blade in the shape of undulating flame. Remade by the forging arts of the realm of shadow. Remade. Okay, this weapon can be thrown by executing a strong attack, dashing strong attack, or mounted strong attack. Charge the attack to produce flame on impact. So apparently it might not have had like the smithing script forging arts. And specifically the realm of shadow? I don't know if I even looked at this in Japanese, to be honest. I'm assuming I must have at some point, but yeah, it's definitely the smithing arts of the land of shadow. Interesting. Yeah, no, that's right. Okay. Unique skill of Messmer's Assault. A fierce succession of attacks using a flame-coated spear tip. Alright, no more real flavor at that. So moving from the spear into Messmer's Orb, we have an incantation of Messmer the Impaler. Summons Messmer's flame to form a giant floating orb. The orb soars toward a foe, crashes into the earth, and explodes after a brief delay. Charging enhances potency. Messmer despised his own fire. Time and time again, he hoped to rid himself of it, but ever did it burn. So, oh no, Messmer's a tragic boy. Oh no, so sad. But yeah, we wouldn't really get that vibe based off of the whole genocide thing. So he's definitely acting on behalf of America's orders and not doing this of his own volition, which seems very abundantly clear with these bits of info we get. So before looking at his armor, let's check out the kindling. Burns the sealing tree. The kindling that burned inside Messmer the Impaler, a dark thing eaten away at by a wicked serpent. Burns the sealing tree is said to be found at the old Rao ruins. Messmer, much like his younger sister, bore a vision of fire. So there's a lot to say about this. Obviously, a lot of people will fixate on the aspect of the younger sister bearing a vision of fire. There was a little bit of controversy over a different version of this. I think it was like the network test version, or like a streaming event version, where there was something different about not referring to it as the younger sister. So they kind of revised it to be clearer that the younger sister was the younger sister. I don't remember the specifics, so sorry for like phrasing that so poorly. But anyway, most people will take that as a reference to Melina, since she's the only other known kindling maiden, i.e. person who bore a vision of fire, which is a perfectly reasonable assumption to make. But just because we do have one other character relating to that, I don't know if it's entirely the safest assumption to make, just because before the DLC happened, we never had any information about Messmer, who is another person bearing a vision of fire. So it wouldn't surprise me if we ever learned that there is a third bearer of the vision of fire in the future. So take all that with a grain of salt, as always. So this kind of looks like it was Messmer's eye that he plucked out, or like the grace that might be on fire, and it was eaten away at by a wicked serpent. And so kind of want to think about that a bit more, because obviously it doesn't really seem to fully bear America's sigil on it, or maybe it does. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but it certainly looks close enough that it could be like the eye on fire. And if it was eaten at by the serpent, it would make sense that it was trying to eat away at the grace that was sealing it. But then that brings the question of like, does like the fire come from the eye? Is that like Messmer? I don't think so, because he still uses all of his fiery attacks after he transforms and plucks out the eye. But nonetheless, the Remembrance on its own, or no, not the Remembrance, the Orb of Fire would make me think that like maybe he was borrowing on the snake's flame. Maybe the flames came from the snake, but I don't think that really works, because the snake was eating away at the kindling. So it seems to be something inherent to Messmer. So there might be like three things going on with Messmer total: the grace sealing the base serpent in him, as well as his fire, and maybe both are being eaten out by the serpent. I don't entirely know what to make of all that. So I will look at the champion items, and I'll catch up with chat before I like read all that stuff. Okay, the helmets. Throne asks, does that mean it houses a soul? The Smiths did that, right? They were from the Shadowlands. So whether it houses a soul is a good question. At the very least, the arts or ashes of war have like memories, and so I would say like all of their unique skills are memories. So kind of yes. So it does seem like the Smiths might have done that, or they might have just used the techniques of the Smiths. Maybe it's something that Messmer can do because of his flame. Pixie wonders how he tried to get rid of his fire. So we do have the Fire Knight armor, which says that they failed to have the flame take purchase within themselves. So maybe he tried to like divide it from him into the other Volk. But good question though. Messmer Spear heavy attacks disappointing. You were really looking forward to using it. Rip. Dylan says, are the snakes tied to America's sin somehow? Is America an analog to Eve in some way? I don't know about Eve, but there are certainly a number of Christian-related, or I guess like Jewish-related beliefs that could be impressed upon Elden Ring. I don't know about Eve specifically. So if so, do you think like the serpent is represented with like Messmer serpent and like America is that Eve? Is that what you're getting at? I can kind of see what you mean by that. But I don't think she was actually tempted by the snake because she like banished it. Interesting question though. Counting Sheep says, chance for another DLC? I doubt it. I doubted that we would even get this DLC until it dropped. I try not to get my hopes up, to be honest. Stoat asks, is the kindling an eye? I'm not sure, but it seems like the little orb in the middle of it is evocative of that potential. And for what it's worth, we do see like Messmer smash America's Sealing Grace. So maybe this would be his natural eye instead, the one that's like closed. But I don't know. And if it was his natural eye, it would explain why it doesn't look like it has like America's rune in it. Yeah, that's what Matt's saying. Didn't he crush that eye, though? Stout says, serpents are cold-blooded, so they'd like the heat, and the abyss is dark, so the serpent would be attracted by his flame. You wonder how he even inherited his Nyx. It's a good observation. I don't know how fair it is to, like, do the whole cold-blooded thing, because we're told the Newmen are cold-blooded as well. Oh no, that's right, folks. The Newmen are snake people. Got him. Stoutboat thought his soul was the kindling, seeing as Melina is burned and battleless. Maybe it's the other eye that was closed. Actually, that might... Hold on. This might actually be more of a theme than I thought. So, if you think about it, if you spare Melina with the whole Frenzy Flame situation, she does open her left eye, which that one becomes gloomy, so to speak. So this could be his left eye, and maybe the left eyes are tied to fire? They're sealed eyes? I wonder what that would say about Ronnie's situation then. Did Ronnie remove one of her eyes that marked her being an Empyrean? Was that the goal of the Knight of the Black Knives, to get rid of her eye? And she needed a certain kind of flame to do that? The flame of death and death? I'm obviously just spitballing here, but it definitely makes the gears start turning, doesn't it? You think his body would be the kindling? Well, Melina is bodiless, but maybe. Stout thinks the soul is the kindling. Yeah. It's true, she will not show up in the Frenzy Flame ending if you sacrifice her first. Elden Thugshaker, nice to see you again. America could be Eve if you compare the way Ania describes the Rune of Death and how America plucked the Forbidden Shadow from the Elden Ring, like how Eve plucked the Forbidden Fruit from the tree. So could she have plucked Destined Death to burn the Erdtree then? Not, well, what would essentially be the Erdtree, because that could be like the original sin. I could see that working, and I've had like a lot of questions about Destined Death and the so-called first cardinal sin and whatnot. She's the gloomy homie. I like it. Why remove her eye when she burned her whole body anyway? I mean, so let's say that the body was collateral damage, and she could have been focusing on the eye primarily. And then Captini says, are the Sword Seals the eyes of demigods? We don't know if they're the eyes of demigods as much as they are just people who've been cursed. But good question. And then Corrin thinks that they're the eyes and seals of Marika and Radagon themselves, which is also a possibility because we don't actually see their eyes either. Forbidden fruit of Elden Ring is the grape. The fingerprint grape. It certainly is the forbidden fruit, isn't it? Okay, so Messmer's kindling. Let's look at the champion equipment. Black armor of Messmer the Impaler, draped with a red cloak bearing his crest embroidered. On his mother's wishes, Messmer made himself a symbol of fear, undertaking the cleansing crusade she desired. Quote, direct thy maledictions, thine ire, and thy grief towards me alone. So, Messmer made himself into a kind of figurehead and was following Marika's orders for the crusade and whatnot. And when we did the Quayline quest, he said that he would never try to sully or defile Marika, something along those lines. And I think there might be something more to that idea, trying to keep such maledictions or hexes, as they're kind of like known, away from Marika specifically. And we also have all that other stuff with like the original sin. So there's some kind of sin that Marika committed. We're told that the first cardinal sin was burning the Erdtree. So Messmer's kindling should presumably tie into burning the Erdtree. And I don't really like this aspect of the lore because we have a potential bit of a red herring going on with how like the flame of ruin was sealed so that way the Erdtree would never get burned again. But wait a second, was the Erdtree burned with the flame of ruin, or was it burned with destined death? So let's think this thought through for a moment, and let's say that the flame of ruin was sealed immediately after the war against the giants. So does that mean the Erdtree had never been burned yet? When did the cardinal sin occur? Presumably, it would make the most sense for it to have happened at the beginning of Marika's reign, but that isn't necessarily guaranteed. So let's say then that the flame of ruin is sealed away. Was it unsealed at a certain point to burn the Erdtree later, or did it remain sealed? That's kind of a rhetorical question. It may have an answer, it may not. I don't necessarily know. So then the other flames that seem capable of burning the Erdtree would be those of destined death, because we unleashed those, which kind of sucks because we also unleashed the flame of ruin to get to the rune of destined death to burn the Erdtree. So like the flame of ruin is capable of burning the Erdtree, but not completely. Was this just a misdirection? Is Ania misinformed? Am I forgetting an item description, which makes things a bit clearer? Wait, no, I think Fire's Deadly Sin says that it's capable of burning the Erdtree. Well, it might be capable of burning it, but maybe not like to the proper degree. I don't think I have that. Yeah, I need to fight like Adon, I think, or Arganthy. So if the flame of ruin is sealed, but destined death is not, when was destined death sealed? Some people think destined death could have been sealed at the beginning of the Erdtree, but then that also brings up the question of like Messmer's relation to that. Was the Erdtree burned and then all of that stuff, the kindling sealed within Messmer's eye? How come Messmer's kindling isn't necessarily like destined death? Was the Erdtree instead burned with Messmer's fire? And if so, when did that happen? Was it later on? How come like this sin is different than like what's going on with the Hornsent? So is that actually what's going on? Was Messmer's fire the true like blasphemous fire, so to speak? And when was the Erdtree burned? Was it actually way later in the timeline, like more towards Radagon's ascension? Maybe. And of course we've got all of the extra ash in Leyndell itself, so it was presumably burned before, but we don't know when. And it doesn't make sense in a lot of ways to burn the tree right when it's born, unless it's like the magical tree that like sprouted up into its full size when it like was created. So there could have been another tree which was burned that eventually gave birth to the Erdtree. I have thought for a while that the Erdtree could be a pyrophyte, and so it could be simultaneously true that the Erdtree was both burned in its previous form and then given birth anew through like a baptism of fire, I guess. But I don't like how it would transform like the fire deadly sin incantation about like, or no, not that, but the smithing stones about the birth of the Erdtree. That would make it more of a metaphorical thing perhaps than a literal one, which is fine. I just dislike it. So that's one hell of a rambling tangent to go on. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, and sorry for like having so many rhetorical questions than things with direct answers, but hopefully that was intriguing to you guys as well, and will get your guys' gears turning. Just going to waste a couple runes on some things like this. So I just want to see some things real quick, and I'm going to read chat as well. Yeah, and that helmet goes really well with the armor. I guess I don't really like the shoulders in relation to it, though. Aw, man, it doesn't match colors super well. It's not too bad. Anyway. Oh, that's even better than I expected. Godwin plus the Radon. I got more distracted by fashion souls than I was expecting I would be. Plus the Black Flame Monk. It's not that greatest, but that's surprisingly decent. That is not. Almost done. It's kind of goofy. Probably need like boss gauntlets or something. Okay, I'm done with all that for now. It's the most black armor you've ever seen. Have I seen Groan/God Miquela's eyes and how they look super similar to Eclipse's? Yeah, it really sucks that that's cut content, essentially, though. And then Counting Sheep says the icon shield depicts the Erdtrees being more wooden, so maybe near the end of the Age of Plenty. So, yeah, the icon shield annoys me a lot in relation to the DLC now, because of... I don't have it on this character. That sucks. I wouldn't say it's like more wooden. I think it's more gold, kind of like the minor Erdtrees in like the Shadowkeep, or the other place, the little cave, or Altus Plateau outside Landell. And then Dylan also leans towards there being a different tree before the Erdtree. Corn thinks it was burned much later in the timeline because otherwise the ash would have been removed and the doors and windows wouldn't be sealed with wax to keep ash out. Yeah, that is definitely understandable. The question becomes like, when is like later in the timeline, because like all of the people left Landell during the Shattering, so it almost seems like it could have happened during the Shattering, but that was just kind of like part of the issue with the lore of the base game, and I don't think the DLC helps too much on that front. DS2 had good fashion, you'll give him that. Matt likes DS3's better. Stopo likes the Dancer's armor set. It is really good. Didn't I have the Fire Dude armor? Oh, that's what I wanted to check. To see how well that went with the helmet. Yikes. Oh, that's actually really good. Oh, this only does the Fire Knight skills. Damn it. I really want to use this hood helmet. I just don't like its appearance that much. HP, stamina, and max equipment load. Maybe I'll just have to hashtag deal with it. And find better arms. I don't think this is going to work. Oh, God. Anyway. Going back to chat. Malekith lives clearly. Counting Sheep says the Halig tree is also very wooden. You're guessing this more normal tree phase is where the sap and tears come from, as you see Halig tree knights with flasks of physics and tears. I don't know if it's fair to talk about the flasks of the Halig tree knights, because I would just assume they're like flasks of crimson tears. Although I do wonder if the other little soldier dudes use them now that you mention it. Pigsy says, the more you think about the timeline, the more you like the idea that I have that the Golden Order started with Radagon. You need someone to make a good case against the idea. Yeah. I don't like to argue against my own ideas too much, but a lot of people like that idea that the Rune of Destined Death was removed with America's ascension to power, but it's kind of arguable. How come nothing else ever goes together the way I want it to? I don't want to be a one set pony. There we go. That isn't as bad as I would have expected, to be honest. It's not great. I kind of hate it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go back to the cool ass. Just set like this. That's the real power move right there. Some Zap Brannigan bullcrap. I'm heavy. Yep, I figured as much. Oh well. No, I lied. Okay, we're not going to do that one. This helmet's cool, but man, this helmet, it just doesn't go with anything. Hmm. Lana set? How'd that look? Wait, where's her chest piece? It's veteran. Oh, it's like all silvery, that's why I haven't bought it. Alrighty. Is there anything else? Oh, that's what I wanted to look at. Okay. It always cracks me up how their arms stick out like that. It reminds me of A Christmas Story when the little brother... Oh, okay, yeah, I thought this would work pretty well. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. Why is Nightbot losing its mind? Fashion is better than function? A little bit of both. Why not? That doesn't work. I don't hate that one. Oh, that's an idea, the Ymir set. I don't know what this looks like tailored, which you guys talked about. I guess we pretty much don't really have much time to do much else on the stream for the night, so if you guys have some questions while I do like fashion souls or like theories you want to share, go for it. What am I doing? Memorizing? Altering. Actually, yeah, this might help things look cooler. We can add a cape to this? I forgot. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, that's really cool, though. It has different text. Robe of Count Ymir, High Priest. The front is open, exposing the squirming fingers beneath. This robe is the image of his fervent desire having broken free, laying bare his greatest wish, and wearing it enhances finger sorceries. Quote, I will be the true mother. My fingers will grant us redemption. That's super cool. So it goes from the High Priest robe to the finger robe. Now I've got to like check all this stuff. Nothing too different about that. All right. So that just becomes like the rest of the Fire Knight set at that point. Didn't I get Messmer's armor? Did I already alter it? Oh, can it not be altered? It'd be nice to like take off the cloak of it. I don't really care for the sigil on the back. Anyway. The Mogrom with the Fire Knight helm as a look, it is. That was... What the hell is this on the back? Bro, these are misshapen fingers. Got these fingers flopping around. Oh my god. This is so grotesque, I love it. Which means I'm never gonna wear it because it's awful looking. This would probably be goofy with the Malekith helmet. Or the veteran set. That's too bright. It's not the worst thing I've seen. Alright, anyway. When do I think Messmer was chased from the lands between? Definitely after Godfrey did his thing. Yeah, what all did I get? I can't alter that. I looked at that. I think I'm going to be too heavy with this stuff, though. Actually, I'm fine. Okay. This is the cloak that's too heavy. Oh no, I have this on. Duh. I don't like how that looks. It's all too heavy at that point. Anyway, just curious about that. Where is the... Okay, there it is. The octopus head? I don't have that on this character. You. That actually kind of works. Not like my gauntlets. Oh god. It's the most grotesque thing. That's so scary. That's not as bad as I was afraid it'd be. Ew. I hate it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna do that. I really wanted to make it work, but it just doesn't work for me. That's pretty cool, though. still running into the same issue with the hands. These are all too heavy. Yeah, I don't know what I want to wear. Show us more skin? No, you. Elden thinks that Messmer and his army were tarnished. We do have Quayline. I don't know about everybody else, though. Dylan says the tooth whip might be one of the most cursed items you've picked up in a video game. Yeah, for real. Something about the way the cape moves feels so awful. Which one? The Messmer one or the Oh, you're probably talking about the finger robe. I kind of like the thematics of this, having the Godwin helm with the twin knight armor. That doesn't work. So we got the guts armor, of course. Wonder how the guts armor works with this. No, it's not dark enough. Wait, how does this one work again? Reduces flask recovery, but this one also just raises dex. Not as cool as I was hoping that would be. That's kind of cool. Can I make this work after all? Nah, I just don't think it does. You know what? I don't hate this. I can kind of work with that. Nah, it's just that helmet, though. That silly little helmet. That looks pretty good. You need to take a better look at some of the armor. You haven't actually gone through all the DLC stuff yet. I feel a little bit limited with my inventory. Not sure what would actually be better, though. That's goofy. So one of the funniest sets that I put together would be having Radahn's helmet with the like Colosseum dude loincloth thing for like the chest, or maybe I like left the chest open. I think I had like the Dung Eater Greaves on, and the Colosseum, the Duelist armbands, like the snake one, the altered one. That's what it was. It was like the altered duelist thing. The VV situation. That works really well. What the hell? Ansbach's attire with the Shadow Militiaman head. Yeah, I think I gotta go with that. Oh man. Even though I'm not like running that kind of build. Wait, what is this? The Black Knight Gauntlets? Alright, you have a good night. Elden, take care. Dylan wishes there was a simple way to hand items from one save file character to another. Absolutely, man. Having some like account bound stuff would be a godsend. I don't mind that. This ain't it. The struggle is real. Actually, I guess before I do all that, I should see what this looks like. That's really not as bad as I was afraid it would be. Oh, that's pretty good. That is not pretty good. So pretty much the only thing is the gloves. Picked all of the good ones up, so it's pretty much rip. Yeah, I think I will probably just rock that for now. I spent way too long looking at fashion, but it's truly the end game of the end games. Alright, what do you guys think about that? The Black Knife Assassins look really bulky for our assassins. It probably does help that they're so lithe. Like, a lot of armor sets look way cooler on the enemies than on our player character. Like the Crucible Knight set, the Axe set specifically, and the Black Knife Assassin set. Maybe I do need more poise, but oh well. No poise for the boys. Okay, everybody. So, you like that look? It looks great. Thank you. Appreciate that. That'll be it for tonight's stream. So, it looks like tomorrow we more or less just have the Ruins of Rao to deal with. Which, oh, well, I guess that'll bring us to the first floor of the storehouse. Because they haven't done that yet either. So, yeah, that's where we'll pick it up on the next stream, which will be at the same time of 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, hopefully we'll catch you guys on the next one, and that'll be it. Take care, stay safe. Last Protagonist out.